The Artman in Orlando, Florida. See more better with freeprescriptionlenses.com. And today I'm going to cut some Transitions XTRAactive gray bifocals with Crizal Sapphire for your Persol frame that you mailed to me, because I am not a Persol dealer. So in order for me to cut lenses for Persols, you have to mail them to me. This is the Typewriter Edition 3107V. Color 95 in the 47 eye size. I know what you kids out there, those millennials, are thinking. What is a typewriter? Well, I'll tell you, kids. It's an early form of texting, but you couldn't always get a signal. Sometimes you had to put a stamp on it in order to get the message received. Okay, let me go ahead and pop out the original demo lenses. And yeah, that's right, kids. Adults used to text too, but they did it differently. And there was no Snapchat. Once you texted on a typewriter, it wouldn't disappear after a few seconds. So this is your frame. Very nice frame, by the way. This is the classic P3 styling, black and silver, always in style. But let's go ahead. I'm going to put your frame into the tracing element of my edger and hit the green start button. Little stylus is going to pop up. It's going to go around and trace the inside bevel of the right side of the frame before doing the same thing on the left. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed in quality. They're only disappointed in the quality of my jokes, but that's another matter. But you buy any frame from me and you'll receive one free pair of clear single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. My receipt has my federal ID tax number, so if you have vision insurance or flex dollars, you will get reimbursed for this purchase, whether they are prescription or not. Art is unique. The Artster. He does not need prescription in the top. These are clear windows in the top. He only needs the magnification at the bottom after cataract surgery. Or if he's lying, he's not getting any prescription in the top. So this is the shape of the lens we will be cutting. Only magnified. Let me magnify that green outline. That is the shape that we'll be doing. I'm going to magnify it again while I'm working on it. I'm going to enter your pupillary distance, which is your near pupillary distance, which is 31. We're going to set the height of the bifocal at 15. I'm going to tap that button until we get down to there. The blue cross is the geometric center of the frame, but your lens is going to be set below that, those little orange crosshairs. This is a bifocal, so I'm going to change the layout grid that tells me where to lay out your lenses, and I'm assuming from the R, that's where this one goes. So that grid tells me that it's placed, oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. I need two of these, which is a block. It has a little silver button on the back, which is a magnet, which is going to do its job twice today, and I'll show you in just a moment. But I'm going to go ahead and pull the paper. This is a double-sided adhesive sticker. I'm going to pull, one side is already stuck to the block. I'm going to pull the paper away to make the black side sticky. I'm going to make sure this magnet attaches itself to something magnetical there in the arm. Make sure the lens is laid down, 31. Yeah, let me double check everything. Okay, we're looking good. We're looking good. Now we're cooking with Easy Bake Oven. Make sure the gap is the same on both sides. I'm going to hit this button, and it's going to make the, oops, hang on, I moved it. Didn't like the way that felt. Let me start again. It's trying to go over to the left. No, back to the right. Back to the right. So, let's get everything laid out again. Make sure everything's where it's supposed to be. Hit the button. The arm's going to come down and place the block onto the right lens. We're going to do the same thing now for the left. Now the left mirrors the right, the same pupillary distance, the same height, optical center height for your bifocal lens. And make sure everything's laid out in there perfectly. So that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good. Hit the button, the arm's going to come down and place the block onto the unright lens, of which we will refer to as the left today. So let's go ahead and pull the shape. This is the actual edger. This does all the work while I run my mouth. It costs $40,000. It weighs 200 pounds. I recommend everyone go out and buy their own. Then you can cut your own lenses at home. You won't need this guy with the bad jokes to do it for you. The actual cutting wheel is right here in the center. It's going to act like a heavy grit sandpaper to grind away your lens material until it's the final size. This wheel in the center, that channel, that little bevel, the valley that is, that's when it's going to put the bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. So let me go ahead, ooh, the right lens, make sure that is the right, yes. Let's pull up the shape onto the computer. Now normally I would cut polycarbonate lenses, but the Transitions XTRAactive in a bifocal, traditional bifocal, only available in plastic, so I'm going to select that. I do not want to polish the edge of the lenses. I'm only going to put a safety bevel on the rear concave surface of the lens. And that concludes your vocabulary lesson of the day. So I'm going to go ahead and squeeze that on there really, really well. And hit the start button. The door closes, the clamp shuts. Come on, clamp. And then the lens is going to be traced by 2 white styluses, making sure that it's large enough to fit into the frame. You can see as it's going around tracing that shape. And the old carpenter saying measure twice, cut once. It's measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly and precisely where to place the bevel, so you have the least amount of edge thickness showing. I could move the bevel forwards or backwards, but with your prescription in this frame, it's not going to matter. Now look at that, water is spraying onto the lens, which you normally don't see in my videos because I cut so much polycarbonate. Plastic, high-index plastic, and Trivex cut wet, where polycarbonate cuts dry. So you do have the transitions, which I'll demonstrate later, but you also have the Crizal Sapphire, which has the remarkable blue blocking ability that the Crizal Provencia has. But Provencia has a purplish hue to it. The Crizal Sapphire has a bluish to almost crystal. Here's a lens without it, and you can see the difference. Anti-glare does 3 things. It eliminates glare when driving at night, particularly driving at night in the rain, but from street lights, stoplights, computer screens, overhead fluorescent lights and such. So it really reduces glare when driving at night. That's what most people really love from, especially driving at night in the rain. But it also has a goes by the initials ARC, which means anti-reflective coating. So it reduces, well, people don't see their reflection when they're looking at you, or if someone takes a picture with a flash, or if you take a selfie, you won't see the flash lit up in the lens. Now it also comes with the hardest scratch coating possible, because Crizal Sapphire takes longer at this point than any other lens, any other coating to put on there. There's just fewer machines that are doing the Crizal Sapphire 360. But they put the industry's hardest scratch coating on there to protect the time and investment, and of course your time and investment. So Crizal Sapphire is one of the nicest coatings you can have right now. Of course, all Crizal coatings have 100% UVA and UVB protection built into the lens. So we know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin, where your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin. So you have permanent sunscreen for your eyes. And of course you upgraded to the Transitions XTRAactive because you're down in Florida. You get your own personal sun that follows you around, and you decided to go with the XTRAactive on these. Now it's still a little bit large. I'm going to take it down 1/10 of a millimeter. I'm going to put it back in. Touch that button a couple times. We're getting minus 0.10. I'm going to take 1/10 of a millimeter off the circumference of your lenses until it fits in there easily. I do not want to force the lens into the frame. It could cause the frame to stretch, or as I like to say, roll. If you can imagine your frame being like a gutter. If the lens were too large, it would cause the lens to roll outwards, the frame bevel, shortening the life of the frame as well as giving you an ugly cosmetic look. So you want a perfectionist like me cutting your lenses. I cut every pair that gets shipped worldwide. No one else touches your lenses in here. So, looks like a car wash, doesn't it? So this lever that's coming out has a spinning wheel on the end that just like you would find on a Dremel tool. That's what's applying the safety bevel to the rear surface of the lens, even though no portion of the lens protrudes from the back of the frame. This is a routine procedure on my edger. This is the edger. And again, as I cut stronger prescriptions all day long, that does become more critical. You'll never have an issue with your prescription art. The Artster, the Artman, who's been married to Raina for 40 years. Although I hear she's been trying to kill him for 39. She's been poisoning him at every meal, but Artman won't die. He's got a stomach made out of iron. Now, he used to be one of New York's finest, going around to all the boroughs, laying down the law. But it's amazing how he went from New York's finest to Orlando's most questionable. So, okay, let me see if it'll fit in here. I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner. And trying to, here we go. There we go, it snaps in there perfectly. Let's go ahead and start doing the left lens. We're going to flip that over to L, press that on there really tightly, hit the green start button, and just like before, the door closes, the clamp shuts, and then the lens is going to be traced again by the 2 white styluses, making sure that it's large enough to fit into the frame. You can see as it's going around tracing that shape. And just like before, measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly and precisely where to place the bevel so you have the least amount of edge thickness showing. And what did I tell you? You have no edge thickness whatsoever in this frame with this prescription. So let's go ahead and take this block off. It is no longer needed. Now here's another thing someone has challenged me to do, is to make a piece of artwork with all the ones I use in my videos. So I'm saving this. These are just from the videos. And so check back with me and watch as my sticky pad monster begins to grow. Actually, this should be my Christmas tree. I'm going to put lights on it since the holidays are coming up in just a few short days. And so actually, while this is cutting, I can go ahead and check the prescription, which is none, plano. So I'm going to put it in over my Marco 101 lensometer, read the power, grab my flashlight, and I'm getting 0, no prescription whatsoever. You have 2.5 diopters of bifocal strength. So I'm going to raise this up and read it out of the bifocal, and I am getting, let me take that out of there, plus 250, exactly halfway between 2 and 3. Now after your cataract surgery, everything turned out perfect, so you don't need any correction at the top. And the doctor said just get a pair of over-the-counter reading glasses, but you set them down in one room, go into another, you don't know where they're at, you want something you can wear all the time. And of course, you can do these when driving. And the nice thing about the Transitions XTRAactive is they will turn about 30 to 50% dark in a car, where the Transition Signature 7 that I'm wearing will not turn dark in a car at all. And the nice thing about the XTRAactive is they turn darker, as I'll mention later on, that all Transition lenses will be darker when it's 85 and below than they will when it's 95 and above. The XTRAactive will get darker in the hottest of weather, which you get down there in Orlando. So let's make sure the left lens fits. We're going to take it out. We're going to tuck it in at the outside corner using the thumbs. Press down the nose. It snaps right in. Let's go ahead and take the block off. Drop that off in there. Let's do a little bit of artwork here. Let's see if we can pinch those together. We're going to put that right there. We're going to add on to that. Put this away, clean up as I go. Okay, let's come down here and read the power of this lens. No power, plano. Let's check the bifocal strength. Plus 250 again, so that is perfect. Now this is the portion in every video that as I clean your lenses, I mentioned that when you get these in the mail, and of course free shipping anywhere in the US, but when you get these in the mail, there's a small chance that these could fit too loose or too tight, or there's a 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other, and that is because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other. And because of that statistic, 80% of all 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. So just stop by your local place and tell them if it's too loose or too tight or high on one side. But I'm going to get them in standard alignment first, also known as a 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I set them down on the counter and press down. There is no wobble. When I say wobble, I'm part of that 80%. When I take mine off and press down, they wobble on the counter, but they sit level on me. Let me put mine back on so I can see what I'm doing. Press down this way, there is no wobble. Close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly, and they do, that neither are askew. Now, this is unique. Persol, made in Italy, instead of a true spring hinge, they have a very unique flexible hinge. They're the only company I know of that does that. It's a very unique design, high quality frames. It's too bad I don't offer this line, but I'm a small shop, and I think you have to buy 70 pieces in order to sell these, and I just can't put all those in there. But again, Persol, handmade in Italy, great quality frame. I think they've been around since 1910. They're one of the oldest frame companies. So if anyone has a pair of Persols, mail them to me, and I'll definitely put the lenses in for you. Let me clean them up again one last time. Now, I'm going to provide you with, of course, Crizal is going to give you a cleaning cloth. I'm going to provide you with one of mine and instructions on how to care for them. Put that back up there. So when you get this in the mail and there's a wrinkle, you know it works because I field tested every one. But this is what your lenses look like clear. I also send out a selfie request. So Art, you got to send me your selfie wearing these things, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and activate these, which means I'm going to turn them dark. As you can see, it takes about 30 to 45 seconds for transition lenses to turn dark. It takes a little bit longer when you come back inside, 45 seconds to a minute 15. Now, pay attention, all transition lenses will turn dark on day 1. Give them 2 weeks of exposure to the sun, and they're going to continue to darken every day for 2 weeks until they get to their final setting. After that, they'll work for years with maximum performance. Now, as I mentioned, the Transition 7 don't turn dark in a car. Your Transitions XTRAactive will. As I mentioned before, they get darker when it's 85 and below than they will when it's 95 and above, but the XTRAactive are designed for people who are extra active outdoors in hotter weather, so they will darken. Now, the regular Transitions will turn dark in a convertible or motorcycle, and of course so will these. But I remind everyone, when it gets really, really hot out there, you're miserable, they're miserable, nobody likes to work 100% when it's 100 degrees outside. So this is what they'll look like the first time they've been activated. Don't worry, they're going to keep getting darker and darker. Come on, Art, we talked about that, don't you remember? So that's it. If anyone has any questions, you can email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com, or simply click the contact me button on the website, or better yet, leave a comment in the video. I'm pointing down below the description. Leave a comment down below in the description. I can answer that too. And it may actually be a question that someone else would like to read and learn. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Free Prescription Lenses, to watch more videos. You can also follow me, same username, on Instagram, and I'm FreeRxLenses on Twitter, if that's what you use. So the Artman down in Orlando, Florida, I cannot thank you enough for giving me the opportunity to cut new lenses for your frames. And hopefully everyone else has got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.